Good day and welcome to Spotlight, the news and feature show on your own Channel 977 and up on YouTube about people and events of interest to Lake Monticello. Today the spotlight shines on Brian Franke and Sara Davenport, a married Lake Monticello couple who perform once a month at the pub's Thursday music series here at the pub and the FarAway Clubhouse. And we're delighted to have you with us. This is an opportunity for us to intentionally provide some entertainment. But anyway, Brian and
thank
Sara,
you.
we're glad to be able to, thank you for coming, glad to be able to do this.
Thank you for having us.
How long have you been here at the lake and where did you come from?
We have not been here very long. We've moved here in June of 2018, so not quite a year yet. We moved from Northern Virginia. We last lived in Alexandria, Virginia, but we lived in different variations of spots up there. Fairfax. I lived in the city for a few years.
Reston.
Yeah, Reston. So
Centerville.
a little bit of everything.
All over.
What drew you to the lake?
Well, my parents bought a house here at the lake, I think in 2006. And it was kind of their weekend getaway, you know, summer week off kind of place. And after 6 years, they kind of decided like, hey, we really like it down here. So they retired up in Northern Virginia, sold their house, and moved down here permanently. So we've been coming down pretty much since then to visit them. Yep. And we we love the lake. We love the people. Everybody's so nice. And
we love that our parents have a boat.
Yeah, my parents have a boat. That's helpful.
Makes it enjoyable.
And, you know, all the wineries and breweries in downtown Charlottesville, like, it's just everything that we've always been looking for in a place to live.
Yeah, well, that's tremendous and marvelous outlets for your talents. You've been making music together, I understand, for some 6 years, and a lot of that was in Washington, was it?
Yeah.
Most of it.
Tell us about that, if you would.
Well, people usually ask or wonder, did you meet first? Did you start dating first, or were you together as a musical group first? But we started dating first. We were both solo acts in the Washington, D.C. area, and we both had a little side band separate from each other, but we had heard of each other. This was like in 2011. And then a couple of friends in the music community knew us both as as friends and said, oh, one friend would talk to Sara and say, have you met Brian Franke? And she was like, no. And he would say to me, have you met Sara? And I said, no. So anyway, we finally met one day.
But it wasn't for romantic reasons.
No.
It was that we were really similar in like what was going on in our lives, and we did the same kind of thing, and they just thought that like we would be really good, you know, colleagues or friends. It wasn't that they were trying to, you know, make a love connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then we met and
we ran into each other accidentally.
Yeah. And we both had come off of hard times and past relationships just around that time. So the music kind of started as a fluke almost. I had a gig where I had another duo that I was in and the person couldn't make it, so I asked her, hey, do you want to do this with me? Because I need someone else to sing and play. And it went really well. And people came up to us and said some things like, you know, they thought we'd play together for years, but it had only been one gig at that point. So.
And we practiced one time.
Yeah, we practiced one time, so we kind of knew something beyond our own relationship was special there in a musical sense.
Yeah, so that's the sort of thing that, and you both have been working individually, professionally,
right?
Yeah,
in and around Washington. And so that comes to saying, well, okay, maybe this collaboration does work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a long process? Did you work several engagements together before you figured out, you know, this is a good thing?
Yeah, we played a few shows together before we kind of decided that it should be a more permanent thing. And having a male-female duo in the Northern Virginia area was something that a lot of venues were looking for, and there weren't very many groups out there that were like that. So we kind of decided that we would come up with a band name and start trying to book more gigs together. And once we started doing that, I kind of backed off on doing the solo shows just because I had so much more fun and it's so much more energizing to play with somebody else. So it kind of took off from there.
Oh, that's that is fabulous. But getting started as young people, and obviously, as anybody says, the music business, like almost any kind of showbiz, is just really the hardest of nuts to try to crack. How do you crack the circuit?
A lot of fellow musicians ask me this question when they're starting, but it's all about relationships and being very professional about how you carry yourself, because when you're in a music community in DC, it was small, and here it's probably smaller. Your name gets around in good or bad ways.
The good and the bad.
And when it's bad, it probably means you're not going to land as many gigs, or people don't want to work with you. So it's knowing a lot of people that make the decisions, that have influence, that can pass your name along when you're not there because they saw you or they worked with you in some capacity. So any relationship, when we go into it, we just try to be cool. We're not pushy people. We love playing, and we always try to put on a great show. And you have to always do that, is put on a great show, because you want to be invited back. Sure. Of course.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hitting the pavement and face-to-face contacts rather than emails or phone calls, because that's what really gets across. Like, when people meet us, the first thing they always say is, "Oh, you guys are so nice." We try to be really positive and energetic and kind, and most of the venues that we play, it's reciprocated. We get the same kind of feeling back from them. So it's a lot of the face-to-face and working really hard. Brian does so much of our booking. It's amazing. Like, sometimes I can't even believe all the places that we get into and, how many gigs he gets booked for us. And he works really hard.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you a little bit more about that later on. But tell you what, why don't we give the folks an idea of what we're talking about here? Your respective and combined talents.
Sounds good.
Brian Franke and Sara Davenport. Sampling of what you can hear here at the pub on given Thursday evenings, part of the live music series at the pub. You can enjoy a nice meal and some good entertainment. So, as I used to say, come on down.
And we're actually here on February 7th.
Okay, good. Always give the date. Next appearance, February 7th. What are you going to play?
We're going to do a song. It's one of our more recent songs called "Surround Me." Essentially, the song was written at a low point. It was like a bad month for us. My car got broken into, and our neighbors at the time were really annoying us, and it was just one bad thing after another. And so this was kind of an outlet, because you can drag yourself down quite easily with the negativity, and a lot of people do. Just look at politics today. Or you can choose, the higher road, the better path. So the term "surround me" means you can be surrounded by all the negativity, but choose a more positive path to get out of it.
Music's a wonderful outlet for no matter what the problem is. Surround Me, Brian and Sara.
I've been living in a world that is a vicious cycle.
It's driving me mad into a downward spiral.
Wanna give up, wanna run out of town, but you're all I've got to keep me from running aground.
I've been living in a world that is a vicious cycle. Baby, hold on, hanging head up high. We can make it, get through the bad times. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough. Everybody's for themselves, everybody wants a taste. Knock you down to the ground, I drown in their wake. Broken windows, too much pride. Divided heroes, what is this life? I've been living in a world that is a vicious cycle. Baby, hold on, hanging head up high. We can make it, get through the bad times. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough. Everybody shuts their eyes, everybody turns their head. Hold me closer now, but used to love instead. Baby, hold on, hanging head up high. We can make it, get through the bad times. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough. Surround me with love. Surround me like it's never enough.
Oh, terrific. That is terrific.
Thank you so much.
There's a lovely positive outcome to a bad time.
Oh, sure.
Yes, yes.
And that's marvelous. So you're fond of writing, both of you. You have a lot of originals?
Brian has a lot more than I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't written a whole lot in the last couple of years, but I've always turned to writing a song whenever there ever something personal happen, or if I have songs about friends that I know that are going through happy times, sad times, just, things that come up in life.
When you compose together, how does that work? Which method do you use? You hear about the famous composers over the Rodgers and Hammerstein, Rodgers and Hart, and all these, and some say, oh well, the lyric comes first, and sometimes and then the melody. Some duos it's vice versa. Sometimes they work together. Sometimes they've been a city apart.
Yeah.
How with you?
It is. We are two very different writing styles. So for me, it's usually I have lyrics first, and I usually end up bringing lyrics to the board, and I kind of the chorus is always what comes to me first for a song, and then I build off of that. Where for Brian, it's usually like a guitar chord progression or like a certain guitar lick, and then words come later. So it's kind of interesting. The first couple of songs we wrote together, we had to like turn everything off, like shut ourselves out from the world, and like really sit and focus on each other. And it's hard to write with somebody else. It's hard to like throw out your ideas because you're always really worried about what the other person is going to think, and you kind of just have to let that go and just let it all out.
Yeah, we don't have just one method because obviously we have two different methods. But yeah, 99% of everything I've written in my life, music came first. I kind of find a melody, a singing melody, and sometimes I have an idea for a song that will fit that, fit that guitar riff or progression, or sometimes. The best songs are the ones that take like 10 minutes to write.
Yeah,
because it just
those
all
are the
comes
best.
out.
Yeah.
It's like comes from heaven and just comes out. But we also, have written just separately and brought like a first draft of a song to each other, and then we add, other stuff in. So it's different every time.
Yeah, it's instructive the number of different styles that have been used by very famous composers over the years. You have an opportunity to take this to several different kinds of venues. Apparently now, Sara, life does intervene or get in the way, as some people say. You're an elementary school teacher.
I am. I'm a music teacher.
Music, all right. At least that's,
She's the
Kinda makes
fun
sense.
teacher.
not math or something.
I'm the teacher that most kids like.
Okay, and where does this happen?
So I was in Fairfax County Public Schools for 11 years, and when we moved down here, we kind of did things a little bit backwards. We bought the house first, and then got the jobs, which we were just very excited to be down here and own our own property, so we kind of did that first. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a job super close, so I'm currently in Richmond Public Schools.
Oh my, that's a haul.
Yeah, it's good quiet time for me in the car. I don't mind the drive at all, but yeah, it sometimes gets to you when, it's like 3 hours of your day, and you're like, where'd the time go?
Okay.
So.
Little pocket recorder, you could try out some lyrics
Yeah.
that come to you or something like that.
I use my phone for a lot of stuff like that. Brian does the same.
All right. And Brian, while Sarah's in there slogging teaching, you apparently are sticking with the music pretty much.
Yeah, this is what I've done the last 9.5 years, thereabouts, for a living. I had a totally different career before this. I did economic policy work, but I became very...
All right.
Yeah, I became disillusioned on a lot of levels with the political environment and the people I worked with, and reached a turning point in my life, a breaking point, and I'd sort of been doing music on the side, and I had a moment in my life where I had time to do it more, and I just said, let me give this a shot. This is what I really love to do with my time. I've never had an awful time playing music, ever. So I never looked back after my last 9-to-5 job, and just have been plugging away, playing shows, touring, recording, meeting her, having a life with her now. So
I really like coming home to a happy husband. I think if he was working a 9-to-5, I would come home to a very cranky person.
I'm also a night owl, so
Yeah, he stays
9
up all
a.m.
night.
9 a.m. is too early for me
Okay.
to start anything.
You mentioned recording. You have done some recording?
Yeah, so we have one album together of 3 songs, and then I have 2 solo albums I've done.
We're hoping to do more now that we're down here. I'm really hoping that this summer we'll have a lot more time to start writing together again, and I know that we want to record a full album, and re-record the songs that we've already done, because we kind of really did that very quickly to satisfy some fans.
Yeah.
So we want to do it the right way, and hopefully get a full album out there, and yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. And so, meanwhile, do you specialize? What kinds of venues do you specialize in?
We do a range of stuff. So when we lived up in Northern Virginia and DC, we played both sort of the winery scene, which we're getting into here,
Boy,
which
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
there's plenty, and a lot of places
And
have
we
had
love
us.
wine.
Rich,
Yes.
oh yeah, boy, rich with the opportunity
Oh, yeah.
here, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
So typically at wineries, we play very laid-back kind of songs, easy listening. But we also have a band, and we play bars and restaurants and bigger stages. We've played festivals where people go a little crazy,
Yeah.
and we can be very upbeat and just
How many in the
rock and
band?
roll.
When we have our full band, it's just 3 of us, but we're hoping to add a bass player soon because it seems like some of the full band type of venues down here want a big band, like a much bigger band. So we're hoping to add a bass player, and who knows what else we might throw in there.
And we play weddings.
We do a
play
lot of
several
weddings.
every year. We play
We'll be at the
private
bridal
events.
showcase
Yep.
on the 10th
Oh, all right.
here.
We just got awarded a Couples Choice Award from WeddingWire.com,
Yeah.
which is it's based on reviews, and we have 5-star ratings
Yeah.
for that. So we do a little bit of everything, and that kind of helps because we're not in one
Genre.
genre or niche. We can be laid back
Yeah.
if you need us, or if you really want the crowd dancing and stuff, we can do that too, which
We've
has
got-
happened at the pub many times.
Yeah, it has. We've gotten the chance to play a lot of really amazing venues, though, and open for some really cool people. I'm hoping that eventually we'll be able to play down here at the Jefferson and the Southern, and but we feel really lucky with what we've accomplished so far.
Well, that's marvelous. Well, yeah, the wineries and now the breweries and
Yeah,
also
Yeah.
breweries
and
have
the,
music.
and the venues in Charlottesville. And
Yes.
always thought that there was, there could be a place for it. It's hard. The lake has not really had a venue to accommodate it. I know there have been a couple of famous people, also lake residents, who were talking about that as a possibility, but it's very hard to bring into focus. But Charlottesville certainly does
Yes,
provide
they do.
a good deal of that. And I've looked at your website, and you spoke about feedback and customer comments, a few patron comments, and you do have a great many of very, very satisfied folks with
you.
weddings and the like, and full recommendations. So there's another plug if anybody else wants to get married, or again.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian
Whatever
and
you need.
Sara, help you out.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, why don't you do us another number before we
Sure.
Great, sounds good.
we let you get back to whatever normal life brings you.
We'll do, I guess, our famous song, so to speak.
yeah,
Sara can
so,
tell you about this.
We're going to do our song called Long Drive Home. And we like to tell people this is kind of our claim to fame. We had put some of our music online and got an email from PBS saying that they really liked our song Long Drive Home, and they wanted to use it in one of their shows called Road Trip Nation. And I had heard of the show, but I didn't know very much about it, so we did some research, and a super, super cool concept. They basically take kids that are, just out of college, or in this case, I think the season that our song was used in was kind of people in their 20s and 30s who were just lost, and they didn't know what they wanted to do for a career, or what they were doing with their lives. And they put these 3 or 4 people in an RV, and they tour all around the world interviewing people who are super passionate about their jobs, or like people who have really interesting jobs, people who are running their own businesses. And we were really excited for them to pick up our song, and it was used in the season finale of season 8, and it was just this perfect montage of like everything that's happened throughout the season, and they used our song perfectly. And for the entire season, we were the only song chosen that they used our vocals in. Everybody else's songs were only instrumental. So we thought that was just really, really awesome, and we're really proud of that.
Well, you should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the song essentially is about when we first started dating. She lived in Western Virginia, and I lived up in Germantown, Maryland.
Oh.
That was a rough one.
It was very, just like commuting to Richmond, very
Yes.
long drive back to home, which we didn't have a home together, but, when you are very much falling in love with someone and are still in love with someone, they are your home, So we just named it that. It's
That's very cool.
It's about us driving to one or the other's place.
Yep.
Very cool. Let's hear it.
Right. I packed all my belongings, filled my tank and closed the door. Distance never gets shorter on this long drive home. It's late and I am weary, but I know I won't be lonely. The days are long, but the nights are warm, with you here by my side. I feel lost in the darkness, but your light leads me to your door. In the morning I'll be with you after this long drive home. It's late and I am weary, but I know I won't be lonely. The days are long, but the nights are warm, with you here by my side. Push the pedal down as far as it can go. Make my way through the headlights that lead me to your road. In the end, I'll be with you, but it's a long drive home. It's late and I am weary, but I know I won't be lonely. The days are long, but the nights are warm, with you here by my side. With you here by my side. With you here by my side. With you here by my side.
Ah, very fine, very fine.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Oh, it's an absolute delight to have you with us and to have you here at the lake and to have you here at the pub monthly. So
Thank you.
Yes,
It's
thanks for
marvelous.
having
We can
us.
see why you're cracking it, and we wish you marvelous continued good luck and branching out. And I'm sure that we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot more of you around in
We
this,
hope so.
Yes,
in this area.
you will.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is Spotlight, and we've been talking with Brian Franke and Sara Davenport, who appear monthly here at the pub, the Thursday Music Series, as the vocal duo FarAway. We hope that you'll tune in to your fabled Channel 977 or up on YouTube as they go for future editions of Spotlight and the full range of broadcast group presentations. So until we see you again, this is Ron Krause. Thanks very much for watching, and good day.